Today I'm with little Rudy. Little Rudy, how old are you?
I'm 38 years old.
Little Rudy, how many years have you been lost in Phoenix?
Off and on. It's been lost. I've been lost and then I've been found and then lost and been found. So right now, technically, I feel like I'm lost right now, going backwards, because I started being lost with the age of like 8. I've been in and out of Durango, juvie. So I can say I was lost there because I was lost without, I guess somebody to like. I didn't have what like other people like. I like had to be. I had to be like develop a grown up. Have a grown up mentality at a young age because my mom always worked, and then I was always dropped off like at my the uncles and my uncles. They sold drugs and drank, and then the women that they were with, they were like women that. Well, then I didn't know they were prostituting or whatever. So that's why I guess explains why my uncle would beat, hit him, and they was always fighting. So I always had to be like the little mom out of the group of my cousins. So when stuff like that happened, I would get them and take them somewhere away from the house, or you know, be out here walking around or late at night. If I had to take them around the block because I didn't want them to see that kind of like shield them from that kind of stuff, and it's maybe because I never had just I only got one sibling, so and we're 10 years apart, so I always had a heart for like always wanting to take care of like the underdogs. And so what else? Another question you want to ask?
You've been exposed to like a rough life at a young age,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you assumed the role of caretaker, of mom, helping out others while watching other people struggle, or what?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm in there and struggle with them. I'll join with them, and I mean, nobody puts a gun or a knife to my head. I know that I have addictive personality, and I know right from wrong. And say, for instance, I had like my mom. My mom, she worked 3 jobs. She had a roof, to put over my head. I was never homeless. Went through homelessness with my mother. My father, he was never introduced into my life till I was like 13, and because my mom she didn't want me to know anything about him because of the way he was and the way he treated my mom and what my brother had to grow up seeing when my mom was married to my dad. So my mom went through a lot of abusive stuff with my dad when my brother was little, and my brother he doesn't look at my dad as a good person at all to this day. But I I ended up having to be forced. Like I was just my mom dropped me off at 13. Just my dad's right here in this neighborhood, like on 17th and Garfield. I remember I thought she was playing with me because I was always in and out of juvie, and she would always have to pay my fines, and she was getting tired of me. I was out of control. I started becoming teenage years, doing what I want to do, and because I didn't have what I was wanting was a mother. Was wanting, so I was going out and trying to find the attention, and I thought that they cared and loved for me to go out there or, you know, shoving the drugs in my face, or show me introduce me to hard drugs, like meth or something like that. I always wanted to be accepted. But my mom dropped me off at my dad's, and then I always heard nothing but bad stuff about this guy. And I was shocked that my mom just threw me off there and she didn't come back. She told me to knock on that door and say that I was going to live there now. And basically, because at that age, I was already 16 and I dropped out of school. I didn't want to go to school anymore. I just decided that I wanted to work, get a job. And so I dropped out at 12th grade. And so I wanted to my job was out there was selling drugs, like selling. But that time it was weed, or or crack rock. And the crack rock came in introduced about not nowhere when I stayed with my mother. It was just weed. I was selling weed and doing other things that were right, like breaking, burglarizing and stuff. But and when I lived with my mom, and so I was always basically I lived most of my youth as a young I call it adolescent, you call it a young adult, and juvenile. That's I think why I feel like I'm institutionalized, and the only way I can only maintain to do something right and not mess up is that has to have order or a routine or somebody telling me what to do. I can never, if I try to do it in my own matters, my own hands, I always go doing something that's gonna be not the greatest idea to do. It's gonna cause something worse or another problem instead of, sticking to a routine or a structure, the discipline that I learned in jail or in juvie or in prison. Every time I went to jail, I always use that time to sit down and think, to put myself down to figure out why I was wanting to be lost out there when I didn't need to be lost. When I knew I had a mother that worked hard to move us out of the hood. I grew up on 7th Street, Bagay, Mipas, and just to get something better for me and her. And I never looked at it that way. I was looked at it like she get more attention towards her boyfriends, or her wanting to look. It was always about image to her, and the way you look, the way you dress, like certain way. Like she really didn't give me a good, like, happy. And you can say I have a lot of good memories with mom, but also a lot of abuse. My mom abused me. I think she had PTSD from my dad beating her up badly and stuff, because my mom ended up being pregnant with me by 3. My mom flipped out when I was little. She was wrong. She had all this crazy stuff. So I knew about that. And so my mom would say that I was like the curse. Like it was like meant, like he purposely, because I did things that, like him, I guess, because my dad was like not the brightest guy, or he became doing drugs, and he lost respect in the neighborhood. He used to be respected in his neighborhood, and then a lot of people started not respecting him because he would be all messed up on drugs at the bus stop. Then it was like they did Sherm and all that, and my dad was a bully, and people feared him, but not in a good way feared, but in a bad way, because he was like a Debo in his neighborhood when he became a drug addict. Instead of being somebody that was looked upon like somebody to be a protector of the hood, my barrio. Like back then they had car clubs or little groups. There was no gangs, and there wasn't no BCT or West Side City and stuff like that. It was just like this neighborhood was like a upper class, middle class back then in the 60s. And my grandpa, he was a World War II veteran. He fought World War II, so he was bringing in a little good money. And my grandma, she never had to work. She had to stay. She was a housewife. So this neighborhood has a lot of history. I've been lost in different areas, different cities, different streets, different avenues. But I always know that I'm aware when it becomes to that point. I just never let myself get fully, totally lost. Like there's people, if you go down to the shelter, that's gone there and like done a drug, and they've not, like it's cursed. Like people get stuck there and they lose their mind. You start seeing them walking and talking to themselves. I got like 3 homegirls that I grew up with around here, and their mind is totally like fried. Like walking around no shoes, like talking to themselves. Like it's crazy how the drug can get somebody like that, meth psychosis, like they're in some kind of meth psychosis, like where they let the drug do them instead of them doing the drug. It's one thing though I could say. I've come across a lot of elders in different areas in the streets. Some as old as like grandpa size. I just would listen to what they have to say, because sometimes they would throw me a little advice, or they knew that I was somebody that probably needed a little guidance. They knew that I shouldn't be a girl out here alone in the street, just walking through the, like there's like I'm not afraid of anything, because I was raised that you don't let nobody walk on you in this world, because you do, they'll run right all over you. And now my life I'm lost right now. I'm trying to figure out my new life, because I went through a freak accident in November on the 17th. I was shortcutting right there, the railroad tracks right there on Grand, where they mainly goes, and they have box carts. They have 2 tracks, one that runs and one that they box carts, and whatever they're gonna fill it, they ship it off. and this one was sitting for like 2 days already, and I was so in a rush, not wanting my friend to leave me behind because we were supposed to go do a holiday, and I wanted to go and not be left out. So I go crawl, shortcut underneath the box carts where they connect to get to the other side to where he stood, because he stood underneath the bridge, like the highway. Like we have some, there's ways where we, I mean, when I'm sorry, when I camp out, I mean, I can camp out in smart ways to where you can be hidden. In a lot of times, these people you see out here, they don't even know, no clue to how to survive out here. That's why those are the ones, the fortunate ones you see sitting there, them talking to themselves, all messed up on fentanyl, no guidance. They didn't have what I had when I was growing up. I had somebody, an elder, bigger homie to. They saw that you got your thought for that, or you mean you got told what you're doing wrong, and then you mean if you keep on doing it, then you're not allowed to be around. You get shunned out. Like I was raised to protect your neighborhood, make sure nobody don't do any dirt in your neighborhood, and if you're gonna do anything that's gonna be criminally like selling drugs or you don't gotta do that to your neighborhood where they're going up and walking in the neighborhood. It's always outside, not
Little
nighttime.
Rudy, so you were under the train and that's how you lost your hand?
I got off track. Yeah, well, I was crossing in the box carts. They weren't running. They were sitting there for 2 days. When I was going underneath, I went underneath because I had bad knees. And a lot of times the other people, they were jumping over. They were climbing over where it connects. It's like, this is where it connects, and then there's two metal boxes, parts. And like, it's like literally from right that curb to where the shade starts. That's like how much, like the wood rail was to get over under. I was just crawling under, like army crawl. Once I was like halfway, already my hand was going over on the other side. I heard like taps, like metal, like creaking. They were right there on Thomas. There's another where they have the trains, where the engines where they can roll out and connect it and ship it out to where they, you know what I mean? So they were getting that time, that day, that moment, that hour. They were happening to ship out whatever they want to ship out. I didn't know at that time that they already had connected one engine, or it needed two engine, like the train, the person that drives it, and they connected another one, because depending on how heavy the load is and how long it is, the ones that you see that have the very long ass train with all that like black, you see them like with like different kinds of stuff they're sending off those long ass trains. It was like half of like one of those, but it was just on black boxes that said AM on them, and I don't know what was in them or what, but they were getting shipped off. And when I was hearing that, I went to sort of instinct to where like if I was to continue going out, they would probably lose my legs. So I just went back in and I rolled on my side, and I had a purse around my neck, and it got anchored in when I was trying to roll. My body was already out, and I tried to roll more again to keep a momentum, and I got stuck. And because I had my purse really loose where it was dangling, and I had a lot of stuff in there. I had a perfume. It was crammed with all kind of crap. I didn't necessarily need it. Moving too fast, like I said, I was high on, say go fast, and didn't sleep. I was rushing, trying to rush somewhere, not thinking, like, is it worth it? Like, I could just go around. I probably could have just, walked a little bit more. Could have had to go around. I just didn't want to go around. I just wanted to be cut right where I knew, right in front of my homie spot. And that's what I was doing. And once I rolled out, I noticed I was stuck. That's when they shot the electricity, because it's run by electricity. The trains, they're not steam. She goes like shakes. The whole thing was shook when it made that like noise. I like went like this, and at the same time, the wheel of my hand was so close to that wheel. It was supposed to be locked. They locked, but this one didn't lock. It went forward. It rolled, and then it stopped. Like it rolled over a little bit and stopped. Then it was the wheel. I happened to go on the one that was a faulty wheel at the same time. Like it's like a curse. A guy look at it, like it's some weird. Like, come on, like who's gonna, like, how does that happen? Like, that must be my bad karma. I was thinking, like, for me doing whatever I did bad, maybe that's my bad karma teaching me a lesson. Like I said, I thought maybe it's my way, God telling me to slow down, or maybe it's gonna be my testimony to something that's gonna help me get out of this situation. Because out of this, I got a lawsuit going against the hospital for malpractice. My hands, I'm not supposed to be missing this much. My hand, it only got right here. This is where the wheel ran over. I saw these three clearly just fall off like, and then the tip of my pinky, which I found later on at the train tracks, because they were looking for my friend Fernando was right there. He tried to help find my fingers, and I was when I yelled for him, I was already out, like on my stomach, trying to like bear the pain, and I just told him call 911, just call 911. I didn't know if I was gonna bleed dead. I didn't want to look. I just wanted him to call 911, and he was like, going back under where he stood under the thing, a bridge, and trying to get him flashlight over my fingers. I told him leave them, they're no good, they're done, because I seen how mangled how it went. It went like in a diagonal way for it to get the tip right here, and then like this was like, it went like kind of like this in a way, and then my thumb was still dangling barely out from ligaments. It was still attached but dangling. That was the only thing that was savable when I was in the hospital. They said about the outcome, because when I was getting discharged, the doctor didn't discharge me. Like, that's how I know something happened wrong. That my physical therapist lady that wanted me to put my pants on, telling me I was going home, and I was like, oh, you're going home, right? I'm like, I didn't even know I was getting discharged. And she's like, yeah, and I'm like, well, shoot, I don't even know what happened through surgery. What am I going to be expecting when you unwrap my hand? They made it look like my hand was formed. They had a bunch of gauze, but they forgot to put my tip of my thumb, which is an x-ray. I saw the x-ray from before and after. It showed it like this. I said I was going to have a palm and a thumb, basically. That's what I was going to have. And I was going to have to work with that. And I was happy with that, because with a thumb is the important thing you need. I would be able to grab stuff with the thumb. I'd be able to pick stuff up with my palm. Basically, that's how we grab stuff, is with our thumb. I can't grab nothing. I'm barely dealing with it emotionally, barely now. It's been since November, and that's why I think that I'm lost out here, trying to figure out what, I just don't how to basically. I'm supposed to. I'm done because I want to be close to where Social Security. I'm supposed to get all these things in order, and then plus I want to go get back on sobriety, because before when that happened, I went to rehab. I went sent myself to rehab for 30 days, because I'm like, if I'm gonna be getting these lawsuits going on, and I'm gonna get this big money from, I know a lot. The hospital screwed up. I'm gonna be paid where I could buy me 3 different robotic hands while you're playing. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, while you're playing, and so I'm not really tripping, but I do kind of feel uncomfortable about it. To me, I joke about it with my friends. Like I say, it looks like a little baby foot or a pig's foot or whatever. But it's like, dang, like they did something wrong to where they continue going. Sloppy job. I've been taking my own staples out and my stitches. They had staples and stitches. You should see how I look before, dude. Like Frankenstein status. But one thing I know is that tip of my thumb that's on the X-ray that shows what that was supposed to be done, it ain't what it is. And I'm just gonna say, am I allowed to mention the hospital names?
Sure.
St. Joseph's Hospital. If you are somebody like in my situation, if you're watching this video, struggling, I could say I'm homeless, but I'm not homeless. Like, I call myself bum rich, because, I'm homeless, but I get my little, something to flip. Like, I get food stamps. I can, have that to eat, and then flip a little bit of money in my pocket. I grew up to knowing and seeing my elders knowing how to flip money, and that's one thing that I know that something that I have that a lot of people don't have when they get out here in these streets and really get lost. Like, they're clueless. Like, you can ask them questions and they're like, I don't know. Like,
well, Rudy, at least, so I'm sorry that happened
Sorry.
to you back in November, but you know what? At least you're alive.
That's why I said too. I have daughters, my poor daughter, and my mom wanted me to lie to her about my hand when it was wrapped up. That I fell. First I said I fell off a bike, but then I ended up telling her the truth that I had gotten, in an accident with, not taking my time, rushing to do a shortcut under by the train, don't place around with the trains. So trying to make it a lesson learned for her to. My daughter's 12, and she's I'm glad she's nothing like how I was when I was 12. Thank God. You know what I mean? They always say like your firstborn will be a curse.
Yeah.
No,
No.
she's
an angel.
she's straight A student, like something that I wasn't. I had a hard time in school. I had learning disabilities, and I stuttered a lot, and I had a social anxiety too, because of the way I was growing up.
Little Rudy, keep your head up, okay? I'm gonna say thank you very much for talking to me. Thank you very much for opening up. The whole purpose of the interview was for you to share your story so that others can see what happens living this life of addiction.
You never know what's gonna happen. Like I could have died rushing, trying to go do a holiday with my homie to go come up off some weed at the dispensary. You know, a lot of people's been doing that because they throw like pounds and pounds of weed like the dispensary, but you have to. I'm gonna decriminalize myself. But anyways, yeah, rushing to try to for what? Like that's all I could keep on telling myself was like for what? Like what was it worth it? Like like my homie that I was rushing for, he was there, he supported me in the hospital and stuff, but I had to do everything on my own. I had to learn, I can't put a bra on, I can't I can't do certain things that one thing that I know that I like to do is I like to fish, and my dad had me in boxing, so I like to box, but I learned how to improvise and make things work. I know I still can box. I got hands. Don't think that nobody's trying hitting me up and targeting me because they know that I'm a solid winner. I got a lot of haters, and they thought oh now he getting at you. You know what I mean? But they didn't know that my strong hands been getting strong. But because I use this head a lot, to watch, I'm gonna be on YouTube. You're gonna see me doing KO hits. I'm gonna be a viral.
Little Rudy, thank you for talking to me. Please stay safe. I'm gonna give you my card with my number on if you ever need to write a treatment or somebody to talk to.
Oh yeah,
that's
good. Thank you.
We'll get you some food. Stay safe. God bless. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right, thank you.